We acknowledge the First Nations people of Canberra, the Ngunnawal and Ngabri people. We acknowledge their elders and leaders, past, present and those to come. We also acknowledge Her Royal Highness Princess Latukefu, the Tongan High Commissioner here in Australia for Tonga, leaders from all our South Pacific Island nations here in Australia. Today, the 9th of March 2023, and here in Canberra, it is quite a beautiful and cool day, and we're hoping that you are enjoying your day wherever you are. I have Luisa Maile Latukefu here in the studio, and she is the coordinator of this program, Women in Dialogue. I will leave for her to introduce to you our program for this afternoon. Thank you. Thank you, Luisa.
Thank you, Luciane, for having me again with Women in Dialogue this morning. And as you say, it's a beautiful morning here in Canberra, in the national capital of Australia. Yes, especially around this time, it's a very important time for women.
It is.
Yeah, globally. I just realized, this year we haven't done anything for International Day for Women. We've always done that. And I was looking at one of the programs that we did back in 2008.
Oh, that's a while back.
A while back, and we were doing, but that was on radio. So it's really happy International Women's Day, Luciane.
Happy International Women's Day to you too, Luisa, and to all of you.
Yeah, that's right. And it's nice to be back with Women in Dialogue. Back in 2008, we were doing Women in Dialogue on radio.
Yes.
CMS radio, that's the Canberra Multicultural Radio here. So they were days of fun.
They were, Luisa.
Yeah.
We have good memories of that, the programs and listeners and people contacting and all the topics too. There were some wonderful topics that we covered in those programs.
That's right. And I think the only different thing that I noticed about this time, it was about International Day for Women. But the only thing that's changed are the themes, because every country have their own theme.
Yes.
Like based on their needs and what their women are doing. But talking about Women in Dialogue, I just sort of wanted to revisit the, why we chose the Women in Dialogue. Because a dialogue is a conversation in which people think together, and that's what we always enjoyed. And one no longer take your position as a final. You relax your grip on certainty and listen to possibilities. That's been the fun of Women in Dialogue, isn't it,
That has been, Luisa.
Yes.
And it does. It promotes thinking, for us to think a little bit deeper maybe, and to listen to people's point of view, because there's always something important that someone brings to the table,
And it's been a real learning journey for us, yeah. And like you say, we watch and listen to voicing of ideas, opinions, thoughts, and feelings. And dialogue is a focused conversation, engaged intentionally with the goal of increasing our understanding. So, and we certainly have done that, I think.
We have, and we hope that our Women in Dialogue programs does promote thinking, promotes conversation, amongst whoever is watching today, to take back to their communities, because I think it is important. And you'll be able to add your bit into that conversation too.
Well,
it's a
right.
sharing, isn't it?
It's about diversity. Yeah, it's about the different voices. So I think I just decided our favourite topic, Luciane. It's all about our sleep, isn't it? It used to be our beauty sleep. Now it's our sleep for health, which is an optimal, importance.
So important.
Yeah, for health. So we've done this before, but we're just going to revisit it because we just never get enough sleep.
No. And I think it's a topic that is so important for health.
That's right, yeah.
And especially as you get older, you need it more.
Yeah.
You don't need less sleep, you just need more rest for health.
That's right, for health, yeah. And like you say, when it comes to health, sleep is as vital as it's just eating the right food.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's about doing our regular exercises.
Because we do know if we don't have enough.
That's it. And our other half know.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the whole family know it.
Louisa, I'm a prime example of not enough sleep today. So those of you who are watching, I think it's because I was thinking about the program, Louisa's program, and I'm thinking, here am I supposed to be sleeping, and I didn't get enough sleep. But, so bear with us today. I've got our wonderful Louisa here who will keep us, moving and conversations happening, just in case I decide to sleep in the middle of this program.
And that would be a good example of lack of sleep. Yeah, and as you say, Luciana, like studies have concluded that sleep has links to severe brain functions.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely we know that, yeah. Like our concentration,
yes.
Productivity, we have to be productive.
Yes.
And it's about that cognitive.
Oh. That might be a lack of that today as we're talking.
So bear with us.
You absolutely can feel it, can't you? Because you're tired. And when you're tired because of a lack of sleep, your brain's tired.
Yeah. It just doesn't
cognitively it doesn't, it's not working. Hello, you're looking, but it's not happening.
And you've seen that with me too, Luciana.
Oh.
Lucy, I don't feel like doing the program today. I just haven't had sleep. Yeah.
Yes.
And sleep is so important to help our body.
Yes.
The repair, the regenerate.
You know that Tongan saying, moheke ke tupu. Hey?
Yeah.
So they knew, the older people in the past knew that you needed sleep for it to repair, for it to regenerate.
And that's us, recover as well. Recover, yes.
I shall be sleeping after the program to recover, repair, and regenerate.
all the three. I think, and that's the balance that we need. Yeah, yes. To keep that smile on our faces, Luciane. I can always tell, when we haven't had it.
Because we can see that with, especially the little ones, if they haven't had a good sleep, they're a bit grumpy, and they're not behaving well. It's only because they're tired.
Yeah. It's a lack of, it's a poor, and it varies from person to person depending on their ages, and the person ages that, as they age, they that's what they say, they require less sleep to function properly. But everybody's different, isn't it? We all have a different story.
I need my sleep. As I'm aging, Louisa, I need proper, good sleep.
Quality sleep.
Quality sleep.
Yeah. And then that scientific research advises that sleep is essential at any and every age. That's
Absolutely. It's so true, Louisa.
And you mentioned about the babies and stuff. So going back to the basics, Luciane, and that is the importance of sleep, and begins even when the kids are in utero.
Yes.
In pregnancy, you see,
Absolutely.
you see women now, they play soft music, while they're pregnant,
Yes.
and they do believe that settles down the baby in utero.
Yes. I absolutely believe
that calming
Lisa.
effect.
Yes, because you do. You just, and you hear someone saying, "Oh, don't do that because you'll harm the baby."
That's right.
Or just don't get too angry or don't get too overexcited because it'll harm the baby. So rest.
And they do say, like, whether, well, researchers sort of said that, but different researchers, because you can hear the baby sort of kick a lot.
Yes.
And then they say, I wonder what they're upset about. But if you remember back...
Or excited about.
That's it. We like to think it's excitement. And remember your child health clinics days was down there?
Yes.
Sleep is such a big thing.
Oh, gosh,
for the babies as well as the parents.
As the parents.
So that's the very basics of sleep. Like, remember the babies, we always try and establish that little sleep pattern.
Yes.
Or routine.
So important, isn't it?
And they say, not to say routine, it's just a pattern. It's you remember that feed, play, sleep?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Louisa, when you think about this, because I was watching a movie and this man was at work and he was going to sleep.
Yeah.
And then they said, he's got a new baby. And I think maybe if the baby is not settling...
That's it. And remember what it was like.
Yeah.
It's a lack of sleep for the whole family.
For the whole family.
Yeah. And remember how we always run the parenting groups for first-time parents?
Yes.
It's about orientating them to the idea, like getting into a routine. And the Western countries, they're thinking about routine.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
They have to be in the routine and not to disrupt the whole family. Routine,
because I think that's why you have to have a routine, so that that mum can get to do what she needs to do, that dad can get to sleep when he needs to go to sleep, the rest of the family.
That's it.
No routine, there's chaos, isn't there?
Thank goodness fathers can get paternal leave now.
Goodness.
It's
It's maternal, yes. Yeah. Maternal leave now, I know that we're talking about longer, because it's 6 months at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it goes up to 12 months. Yeah, can you put it down there?
Yeah. So maybe down a bit more.
Yes.
I think you're moving too fast. We're just...
We were just getting into the... Yes, that's right.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah. And then it's about the infants and the toddlers. It's still about this. Then, you get onto the sleep associations, remember? The bedtime routine, the storytelling, the reading. And it becomes...
It works for children.
Yeah, it becomes a ritual.
It does.
Their little comfort blankets and comfort toys.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's their sleep associations. So the whole idea of all that, going back to basics, it's about building that foundation for their later life.
Yes.
Even this stage.
Yes.
Because if they develop a good bedtime routine, chances are that they will continue that sleep routine throughout their adult life.
Yes.
Unless, like, you get sick or you get a job that you have to work different hours and all that sort of thing. But it's about all that preparation. And that shows how important the sleep is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That routine is so important because, you've listening to some mums who've said, we didn't get a wink of sleep. He just wouldn't sleep. He just wanted to play. But of course, because he wants to play until 10 o'clock in the evening at night, then the sleep goes
They get
back.
overtired.
Yes, they get overtired. And only because the routine maybe had been, disturbed somehow.
You have visitors.
Yes.
Or you have the grandparents coming.
Yes. But it's always good, if you're going to have grandparents coming, they need to know the routine too. Because I know I'm a visiting grandparent sometimes and I never disrupt the routine.
No, same here, because I usually pay for it too, because
exactly.
they'll play up on me.
They would.
Yeah. So it's about like we're going to look at making sleep a priority, and then we'll talk a little bit about the snoring, because that's been very important for us.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's about improving your sleep hygiene, which I think we spoke about this before, Luciane. It's about that comfort. We talked about having your nice bath before you're going to sleep. Everything's sort of nice, and you can do a bit of reading. It's about winding down, isn't it?
It is, because everything needs preparation,
Yeah,
as we
that's
know,
right.
in life. And sleep, because sleep is so important, we need to prepare to sleep. You know, as you said, have a nice warm shower or whatever it is you need to do. Slow down, maybe turn the TV off and read a book.
But that's it, read a book.
Yes.
And then if you're going to charge your phone, you know, they suggest that you charge it in the kitchen, just to sort of stop you from trying, I might just check and see if the kids send me a message.
Turn your phone off.
Yeah.
Yes. And tell your family. Our phone gets turned off, because we do that. We turn our phone off. And, you know, and we just have the landline phone, so if there's an emergency. But they know that usually by 8 o'clock my phone's off.
Yeah.
You know. And it is that just a little...
I know that, Lucy.
Because you tried to contact them.
No, because I see you were like, about so late at night, but I know that you go to bed early. You have to have your sleep.
But
and
Louisa, I might go to bed early, but I might not be sleeping. I might be reading or doing something or watching a program. I need to prepare. As we are talking, it's, you know, it's reminding me again how important it is to wind down. Reading a book, you know, because sometimes I like to watch a movie. It's not good, because my mind then becomes wide awake and alert. Reading.
Just watch those romantic movies.
Maybe watch it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So.
Yeah, and also it's about sticking to your same schedule every day.
Yes.
They say even on weekends, if you can.
If you can.
Yeah.
And you know, nothing is perfect in this life.
Yeah.
But try and do it as much as you can, as often.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
as
it.
you can.
We can try. And that's just improving your sleep hygiene.
Yes.
Yeah. We just move that up, Siwa. Please.
So so the schedules are important.
That's very important, because it's about routine again. Because that's how you started off when you were young.
Yes.
You know, and those things you always sort of. Do you know what they say? The first 4 years of life is the formative years. So what they teach you, it's about.
That's right.
Yeah, it sticks with you.
So what they're learning, you know that it's going to be easier if you teach them a routine.
That's right.
Get them used to it before they go to school even, you know, because they're already ready. They know that by 7 o'clock they're tired and they're wanting their books to be read to them. So it's a good thing.
It is, and it's a very busy time, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's busy, isn't it, at that time of the evening, trying to get children bathed and fed and settled down for their sleep.
And for working parents, you can imagine trying to rush on and trying to do all those things.
I've forgotten how busy that business, Louisa, because we all went through that. Getting our kids settled.
We were all younger and a lot of energy.
Oh, yes. Energy.
I know you got a very comfortable bed there, Lucy. I always peep in there and say, she does have a beautiful bed.
Yes. And that's it. It doesn't take much to make sure that your bed is comfortable in your pillow. Sometimes
I've got a thing about pillows. I'm like the kids. I take my pillows to my own pillow to, if I'm visiting them.
I do. Absolutely. So important, because that's, if you don't have the proper, the right pillow, I should say, you don't sleep.
Yes. You know? And I know my grandkids bring their own pillows.
Yes.
And I thought, well, that's a good idea. I'll start taking mine.
Yes. No, true.
Yeah. And it's about just a bedroom temperature and stuff. We always know. I think we were talking about that like last night. Yeah. And about the phone and the laptops. No working in bed.
No. Try not to. Yeah. I know when you're a busy person, sometimes that's where you try to answer emails and send messages. Try not to do that, because it does keep you awake.
But see, your kids would know, Luciana, not to disturb. I know that you go to bed early and you don't like being disturbed.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, it's about that caffeine again and the alcohol.
Do you know, it's sometimes, I don't drink much coffee, usually 1 cup a day or maybe 2 when you visit. But, you know, sometimes in the evening I get this urge to go and have a cup of coffee, and I don't, because it's a ridiculous idea to have caffeine in the evening when you're just about ready to go to sleep.
But we've been having like decaf coffee at home, but there's still a bit of caffeine in it, and I still feel the little kick there. So maybe that's right, yeah.
And the no alcohol, I guess, is another. Some people need to have a wine to relax, you know, but I don't know. I don't drink much, but I don't know about having alcohol before sleep. I think that'll keep me awake.
It doesn't. It helps me to go to sleep.
Okay.
But I notice that people, like, we have that, if we have that wine, we have it with our evening meal.
Yes.
But I notice when I've been to my kids' place, you know, my son's place, you know, I like to have it with my meal.
Yes.
But then I notice that they have theirs after dinner.
Okay.
See, whereas I said, because after dinner then, it's the same for both of us. We don't feel like having a little drink.
Yes,
so maybe that helps when I go. And they say, Mom, would you like a little drink? And I say, well, I've already had dinner.
Your routine.
Yeah.
You know, if that's your routine and that's how you relax, is to have it after a meal, have a glass of wine, then do it, you know. Or have it with your meal or not. You know, it just depends, you know, on the person, I guess, and what they're used to.
And like I say, even though we're supposed to have the decaffeinated like coffee, but I'm sure there's still a little bit of caffeine in it.
Do you have a decaf late at night or late?
No.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Don't want to try.
But not after 8. I guess that is still...
Well, my husband can have a coffee in the evening and still go to sleep.
Yeah, I guess he's used to it, because he'll sit up and do a lot of work. Because I can see him on the computer, like, still working late. But just remember that it's not about the quantity of sleep. Like you were saying, it's the quality that matters. Yeah.
Quality of sleep.
And improving your sleep hygiene can boost both your quantity and quality of sleep. Yes, that's helpful, isn't it?
It is really helpful.
We see people in a movie having a nice soapy, you know, soak in a bath, and they have a little drink. But I think that's just for the movie. Do you think?
Yeah. But a lot of people do find that relaxing, you know, a late bath. For me, it's just a quick shower and in the bed with a book.
Yes.
Most of the time. And sometimes, you know, like, it depends too. Sometimes if on the book that I'm reading, sometimes I'd be reading something like poetry or just something like that, because I can't, if I get into a story, I get taken over by that story.
Yes.
You know, so...
And then you keep wanting to read.
More.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're talking about napping. Lucy, do you have your little nap in the afternoon?
I do nap sometimes, you know.
Depending
on what I'm doing. I can, you know, if I'm laying down watching something, I do have a nap, which is great. And you're saying that naps are good in the afternoon?
Yeah, but it depends on, you know, what else is going on. But if you feel a bit tired, but I think as you get older, you know, they always talk about little nanny nap.
And then supposed to be very good, aren't they?
Yes. Only because by the time you get late afternoon, you think, oh yeah, I've been up, you know. So, but they do suggest that your nap should only last about 15 to 30 minutes. Any more than that, and any later than, you know, the little afternoon nap
might end up being awake.
Interfere with your night's sleep.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Because, you know, even with children, Louisa,
that's right.
If they have a nap and they nap late, then they're up. You know, so I guess we humans are alike in that way. But
we're conditioned like with the routine. If you're used to the routine, But then the thing is, I find that if I have a little nap, but it depends if I wake up early.
Yes.
So it's about, remember, we were saying about sleep. For the age group, it's about 7 to 9 hours. It should be a good amount of sleep. But then it's up to the individual if that sleep is enough for them, depending on like people who are still employed, whether they're doing very heavy work or their work sort of needs a lot of concentration and like driving long
I think 7 is a really good, if I can get a 7-hour sleep, I'm happy because I feel rested when I wake up. Sometimes if it's longer, I can get up tired with too much sleep.
Yes.
You wake up, you're a little bit slow to
get moving.
to get moving.
But it's nice to sort of wake up, early. But like I say, it's about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, Or some
That's
people
a good nap time, isn't it? 3 o'clock.
Yeah. And when we used to do a lot of home visiting and stuff, if you remember that, a lot of the oldies would just sit in their chair and have a little cat nap.
Yes.
Yeah, nanny nap. Yeah. Yes. And it just keeps them alert, like enough to have their dinner.
Yes,
and have a little conversation. Yeah.
Because after lunch, you just slow right down. And, within an hour after lunch, it's like you feel like you need to have a little rest.
Just a little shut eye, I think, But, and for people who sort of drive, long drives, like people from Sydney, like, trucks, drivers and stuff.
That's right, yes.
They say if you're tired in a long drive, just stop, have a little cat nap and then continue, if you have to continue driving. Yes. So, looking at when to seek help, like if you have any problems with the sleep, and also like we always know if that 7 to 9 hours is enough, isn't it? We know our own body.
Oh, you know.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, we know. And it's when to seek help is, if you or a family member are experiencing symptoms such as significant sleepiness during the day, chronic snoring, leg cramps, tingling, and difficulty breathing during sleep, like a little bit of snoring and and chronic, insomnia, lack of sleep because disturbed routine.
Yes. And you do, as soon as you notice those things, sometimes you need to take good notice, if all those things are happening or some of those things are happening, you still have to take notice and talk to someone.
Well, that's right. As we always say, we're not the experts on those specific areas, but we do, have a lot of experience with people who have gone through those. Yeah, and other symptoms that prevents a good sleep, just consult your family doctor or a sleep. They do have a lot of sleep clinics.
They do. Because where I go to my rheumatologist, they also have a sleep clinic.
And they're not cheap either.
I hope I never have to come and see you people.
Yes, they're very expensive, sort of, But a lot of times, I think they're sort of sharing and just talking with friends and that what they experience, that usually helps, doesn't it?
Usually in conversation it'll come up, oh gosh, I've been for a couple of, someone will say, for a couple of months now I haven't been sleeping well, it's time to go and see your doctor. Tell your doctor there's something might be going on. It could be anything, but it's good to check any of those things, someone dozing off every day or chronic snoring, cramps in the legs or tingling. They are things that you have to be really aware of.
And it's not hard to tell because I find with my partner, that I notice like in the morning, like morning tea time, I notice he'd be yawning and I said, didn't you have enough sleep? Yeah, but it's about like you can tell them it wasn't a good quality sleep.
Yes. And we can feel it too. If your sleep was not restful, So obviously those things that you talked about before, if your sleep will, replenish your body,
That's
repair your body. So if
that's
those
when
things
you're
are
healing.
happening, yes,
when your healing
yes,
sort of happens.
if that's not happening,
Yeah.
then you know that your sleep's not.
Yeah.
You know.
And remember, Luciana, we used to talk before about the stages of sleep.
Yes.
And it's that real heavy, deep sleep.
Yes.
That's when all that goodness of sleep, helps. Yeah. It's not just the starting and then you awake. It's not good quality sleep. Yeah. Yeah, but like we were saying, just make sure you follow up with your family doctor. And then, they'll always refer you to. Yeah. And I think we've talked about snoring before.
Yes.
The bloke who snores after a few beers is quite common.
Yes.
You have an excuse.
Yes.
You know it's got a reason.
Yes.
But persistent snoring can be a sign that something else is going on. Yeah.
Yes.
Or if you, like we were saying, if you wake up tired, no matter how early you go to bed, you still wake up tired. Like, we've seen it, they're yawning and they're still sitting. Yeah. Or do you get waken up by your partner's elbow? I think that's usually the first thing that happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, women do talk about having to,
Yeah.
nudge their partner or husband or whatever if their snoring gets too loud.
Yeah. That's right. And tell them to sort of turn over. And it's quite a common scenario and one that affects slightly more men than women.
Yes.
Slightly.
And it can be serious too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, especially like relationship and stuff.
Oh.
That can happen
It can be a cause of annoyance,
Yeah.
If your partner is snoring all through the night and you can't get enough sleep. So he may not be getting enough quality sleep because he's snoring, and you're not getting enough sleep because you're not sleeping.
Yes, and remember like before, we used to say about people who snore, some of them will wake themselves up because they can hear themselves snoring. And that's okay because they wake up and then they'll, whatever. And they say it's about 40% of men and 30% of women have at least a mild snoring. Yeah. So the possible causes of snoring, we're talking about alcohol. Yeah. Is, can you put up? Yeah. So the possible causes we'll just have a look at. As we were saying, the alcohol can cause the snoring because I think that it makes him sleep. And it relaxes the muscles in your throat.
Yes.
And makes more prone to vibrations.
Yes, yeah.
And you can hear that, that little vibrations.
Yes.
And alcohol, because it causes dehydration, how it dries your throat.
True.
Yeah, so that makes them, snore because they have to, get dehydrated.
True.
Then they try and, because they sleep with their breathing from their mouth.
Yes, yes, of course.
And also overweight is a major contributor. See, I remember, due to the presence of neck fat.
Yeah, so I guess when
you're fat and
in the neck and
when you lie down, it compresses on
that's
on your airway,
right.
and it makes the snoring more easily.
That is serious, isn't it?
Yeah, because I usually say to them, when I hear that snoring, I say, well, turn on your side.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that, that releases that, And physical factors like sleeping on your back because your tongue sort of, remember your tongue's fall back, interfering with the airflow.
Yes.
And breathing through the mouth. Through the mouth, it adds to that vibration, because you can hear it. Yeah. And of course, like the allergies, which is really common, because you can't breathe through your nose. And smoking and hay fever can obstruct the airflow.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Anything that can interfere
with the airflow into your lungs is anything like that, So if you're smoking, do less. And hay fever, of course, there's things that helps people with hay fever now. So,
That's right. People can look after themselves, And we're just going to say about, remember the children with large tonsils and adenoids?
Yes.
There was a time, if you remember, Luciane, they used to remove their tonsils.
Yes.
Whereas now...
My son had his adenoids removed when he was about 5.
Oh.
Yes, great. So, and they, because he does snore and they're having a look at that. But it's usually when that's removed and they don't snore. So there's obviously something else that's happening.
Yes. Like with the adenoids at the back, and then nasal polyps, the large tongue. Yes. People got that. Some people
swollen thyroid.
Yes.
Wow, of course.
Do you see a lot of those? Do you see those movies, the Korean movies and all those things? Do you notice their thyroid? The boys always sticks out. Yeah. If you notice that sort of thing, but it's about swollen thyroids, because they do have those tests, and they can take medicine to sort of reduce those swelling. And of course, the elderlies
on many medications,
very fragile sort of population, too many medications. And some of them, and that's why when we were talking about medications, Luciane, remember, it was always like being aware of what you're taking, and some that could sort of have the side effects, and it's for some, if you mix them, if you take them together, so it's always good to be aware of all those things, and they always have a lot, and remember, a lot of elderlies will add on some syrup for this, some natural stuff as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course pregnant women, because there's increased blood, flow in their body, so it's causing the blood vessels to expand.
So
and there's swollen nasal passages.
So I guess after childbirth, if that's still a problem, then there could be something else happening.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and then that things that happen in the pregnancy haven't sort of started to go back to normal, because it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for a postnatal period, to settle down all the swelling, and we usually do our follow-up postnatal check anyway.
Yes.
For those sort of things. And for postmenopausal women, people of my ages, sort of, it's about the estrogen.
Of our age, yes.
Yeah, that's it. Because it helps the women's muscles, they say it tones the soft tissue firm and keeps it not sloppy and soft, so it doesn't interfere with
the air. Yes.
And we've spoken about this management. Remember, we're talking about the simple snoring, is that night shift?
Yes.
Yeah. That you wear that around the neck. And there's a sensor there that vibrates when you sleep on your back.
So that's fairly simple. To move.
Yes. So when they hear that sensor sort of vibrating, then they know that they're on their back, so they have to turn on their side. And those little nasal stents, it's just like little thing. What would you call it? I thought that was a nut
tubes.
Yeah, that just expands your nostrils. Yes. Yeah, it just dilates the airways. And those, I haven't seen those little nasal strips, but they say it's about breathe right, so it's about the nasal passage. Yeah. And also it's about, we spoke about this, that standard mask thing, that continuous positive airway. Yeah, one of my family wear, pressure. And it's
lots
a mask.
Lots of people, I know a lot of people that wear that now. To keep, to keep the airways open. So it's worn at night. Yes.
Yeah, and that's pretty good, but I think they wear that for quite a long time. Yeah. Then of course.
So even though when we talk about, weight, and we talked about alcohol, if those things aren't, if you're not a person that's got weight on, or if you don't drink, that there's something else going on.
Yeah, that there's something else. There'd be other causes, wouldn't it? Yeah. And because best and simple, weight loss, if you are overweight, I think they're trying to change what you call overweight these days, isn't it? and just make sure the proportional sort of thing. But then they've been talking about that for ages now.
Yes.
Even while we were still sort of
True.
yeah.
True.
And alcohol reduction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that problem, then there is something else. And all the things that Louisa talked about before, those are things to be looking at.
Yes.
That might be the possible causes of the snoring.
Yeah. And because there are other areas like sleep apnea,
Yes.
and all those sort of things, which are very serious.
Yes.
And like what we were saying, you have to sort of see your family doctor and sort of follow up about that. But all these things would be like, preventative care. And it's about raising the awareness. When people go through that, you have to check up with your family doctor and follow up. Yeah, because most of the things that Luciana and I talk about, it's about raising the awareness, and you've all got your family doctors to follow up. And it's about understanding your body,
That's right.
Yeah.
And being aware too.
Being aware and doing something about it.
The way it works and doesn't work,
Yes. And especially with, you get to this age, and like what we were talking about, sleep, right from the beginning of your life, and getting to, I think if you follow those things as closely as you can and look after yourself, that sort of thing. But you got other things to worry about when you get to that age, 69 plus, 70 plus, sort of thing. Then you always make sure that you follow up with your own family doctor.
Because all the more you need to be careful when you get to our age, because things, it's like the body's not working optimum level,
Yes.
There are things that work slower, things that don't work at all. So that all the more you have to be
the
careful
wears and
be
tears.
aware. Yes, absolutely.
We need that sleep for it to be, rejuvenated and repairing.
Repairing.
Yes.
If sleep is not doing that, then there's something going on.
That's right.
That needs to be looked at.
And if our body, like we were just talking about that before, Luciana, and if our body can't rejuvenate and repair, there are other little technical parts that we're so lucky to be in a world that, the awareness is very good. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
also like...
and there is help.
And there is help
that can be done
with our family doctors.
Yes.
And we do have family doctors who listen to us.
Yes, true.
Rather than just thinking that, I know, I'm the one that knows your body.
Yes.
Whereas I said, no, wait a minute. That's what I love about Canberra.
Yes.
Your doctor listened to you. Now, all I want is this because I feel good. Yeah.
We're very lucky here, Lisa.
Yes.
Because we are rich with resource in health and all sorts of things.
Yes.
And we have family doctors that we know
we work
listens to
together.
us.
Yes.
And I think that's a really important. If you have to be comfortable practitioner with your health practitioner, you have to be able to speak to them and they listen to you. If not, then that you are quite okay for you to go and look for
somebody else. Somebody else who listens.
Yes. Because you have to be comfortable. I mean, what's the point of going to see someone that you have they don't listen to you and they just please themselves and do what they think they should do? Because it's important for your doctor and yourself to make the good decisions for your health.
And have that understanding and respect, Luciana, isn't it? Yes.
Going both ways.
And I think that's all we have to talk about today. And we hope everybody will enjoy their International
Women's
Days
Day
for Women.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and I think, did we talk, we mentioned about the theme for this year. I thought that looked a little bit
so what's the theme for this year?
For Australia, it's about cracking the code.
Innovation,
innovation for a gender equal future.
Okay.
And all it is about, it's about encouraging women to sort of, it's about technology and all that, you
Yes.
know. In other words, the everyday, what do you call it, the more modern ways of learning and all that. So,
Yes.
and areas that we are being underrepresented is like because of our gender.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
they're encouraging us to do that, and it's I don't know, but I think in France they're celebrating every woman. The woman who choose to stay at home and look after the family
Yes.
and do all those sort of you know, organic stuff, you know, and watching the right food and reducing processed food. See,
Yes.
that speaks a lot, Luciana, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, and women.
I know you're always careful about those things.
Well, I try to be, Louisa. I failed many times, but I keep
Pick up,
keep
and
trying.
keep trying.
trying.
Yes.
And we have, I have my women in my family, the young women in my family, who are very vocal about things that
Yes.
need to change, and reminding me of things that I sort of tend to forget or left. But it is good, and I think all the more, especially progress in young women nowadays and what they're doing. It's really hopeful.
Yeah,
We've got a hopeful future. With when you look at our daughters and our granddaughters and how they're finding their place in this society and in this world, it's really hopeful.
It is hopeful, but also looking at the theme this year, it's like what they say globally, digital.
Yes.
It's not digital, but it's digital, ALL.
Yes.
Innovation and technology for gender
Yes.
equality.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it aligns with the priority theme for the upcoming 67th edition of the Commission on the Status of Women. That's going to be the uppermost topic, for that coming up. So it's like sometimes I think it's a bit like those science fiction thing. And because they say when you're being innovative, it's about technology, it's about all those other fast things that's going on. But
I noticed that they were celebrating women movie makers.
It's about what men do.
Yes, and celebrating, because there's a lot more filmmakers who are women nowadays, women directors, and as you said, in the field of technology, the number of women are rising, and then you look at politics, the number of women that are in politics, is
in being
increasing.
leaders.
Yes,
look
leaders.
At worldwide, there's a lot of female leaders. Yes.
Canberra, we are here in Australia, we have quite a lot of women.
A lot of women. Yeah,
I think we, and I know that certain countries want to make sure there's an equal number of female
with the quota.
and male. Yes.
With the quota system.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a few years ago, I went to Tonga. It's only been nearly 10 years. I went to Tonga, and you know what your sister asked me when I entered Escape for my cup of coffee, all the way from the village, and she said, "Now, listen here, Louisa. What do you think about the quota system?" And I said, "Wait a minute, about her, isn't it?" That was the thing she asked, and I remember that. It was years ago. That's about 10 years ago she asked me that.
So what is
some of the... It's like when you set a certain number of women,
I'm thinking of Tonga. How are we with that?
Well, and that's what she was saying, because she wanted to think, what do you think, Louisa? Should we go with the quota system? And I think there was few years ago, they thought about that.
Yes.
But they, I don't know, they just
gave
gave
up. Do you know how
up.
many women in Parliament we have in Tonga?
One. Yeah. The one. Oh,
We're certainly not doing the quota system there.
No, I'm thinking there's only one female in the Parliament at the moment.
So we've got a bit of catching up to do.
Yeah.
And wasn't that good news for our Amelia? To get that job. Wonderful.
I was
job.
a little bit, I think, because my hope was on her. because when she was at uni in Sydney, a lot of the nursing board, they were saying that when she goes back to Tonga, she'll do the set up, a lot of things for the nursing thing.
Yes.
But she's on to bigger things. So
Bigger things.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's done a good job.
That's a fantastic position for
exactly.
someone from Tonga
It's
to
a
be
good
doing.
recognition. Of
Fantastic
thing.
recognition.
Yeah,
Yes.
and for the Pacific Islands too. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and hopefully
Someone
she
from
will
Tonga
be
to take on that role
and represent
Yes.
the poorer countries.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
good
And
on
a
you.
lot of mobilisations, like look at all the hospitals in Canberra.
Yes.
They might,
Yes.
they sort of, what's the word? Import.
They do a lot of that because
Yeah.
when you go to hospital, you can see a lot of people from elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so they import the nurses, and I think
They are thinking of that, to do that for Tonga too, from Tonga.
but they just need to upgrade the stuff.
So if they do that with the Tongan nurses, then they'll have to maybe come here and have an amount of time to
like
do sort of like a bridging.
sort
Yes.
of, But or
what a
they
great
can
opportunity
they
if it
can
happens.
upgrade
Yes.
just their thing in Tonga.
Fantastic
Because
opportunity if they
they've
can do
got the
that.
National University now.
They
nursing
do.
and nursing is going in there.
There you go.
And
you
Luciane, they've got so well qualified
There you go.
nurses there because they're trained overseas with so many,
Yes. So we have
They-
no
with
excuse.
masters and Amelia was the first PhD
She
in
was
nursing.
in nursing.
But
yes.
those girls who are on the teaching thing, they've got their masters and
Yes.
they're well.
So we have a lot of masters in nursing.
Yes.
We have one doctorate in nursing.
That's right.
But wonderful news about Amelia.
Yeah.
I've forgotten her surname.
Yeah. Well, now she's. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, she's going to be disgusted with me. From Vavao.
Yes.
That Angana something.
Yes. But she has a married name now, hasn't she?
Oh yeah,
So
she's married
her-
to Alo Tuipulotu.
Tuipulotu,
Yeah.
that's it.
She's married to
Amelia,
Alo
yes.
Tuipulotu. He's a good support.
Dr. Amelia Tuipulotu.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Afamango.
Afamango.
How can you forget that her grandmother comes from my family at Dr.
We didn't forget. It was just there. We just had to recall it. It's not. We didn't forget,
she
Louisa.
is,
It was just there waiting for it to. Yes,
And then I think that family's done well with,
absolutely.
with
But well
politics
done,
and-
you, Dr.
Yeah.
Amelia.
All the
Fa'amano.
best, Amelia.
Tuipulotu.
Yeah, she's just,
Yes. Yes.
She's good. She's got the basics and she's got
Yes.
this thing. Yeah.
And happy International Women's Day to you.
Everyone in
Absolutely.
Canberra and
Yes.
globally.
Yes.
Yes.
So are we buying up the program, or
that's
is there
it.
something else you'd like to?
No, I think that was it. That we
was it?
sort of, we
It's
just
big,
wanted
it's
to
a
think.
big topic,
Yes.
because it is a topic and it affects our lives. Each and every one of us, if we don't have enough sleep.
And I
We're
think
not
I
going
just
to be
wanted to
working.
remind you again. It was a little bit emotional when I looked at it, and I thought, oh, look at this. Luciana did, and I did that on the radio in 2008. We were talking about the
And it's
international.
still as important as
That's
back
right.
in
Yeah.
2008
Yeah.
when we spoke about it.
And look how long we've been doing this.
And we'll keep doing this, Louisa, until we no longer can do this. So if
They
we
might come to the nursing home and record.
why not? Why not? Why not?
We'll be talking about aged care then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whatever age you are, you need to have sleep. And
Yes.
proper sleep. So important. As we're being reminded today
Yeah.
by Louisa.
Especially all the women out there. Yeah, you need your sleep.
You do.
Rest, because they say that women are always busy and get the disrupted sleep because they wake up, go and check on the family,
Yes.
check on everything.
I wake up if the dog's barking next
Yeah.
door,
Doesn't
Or-
Professor wake up when he hears the barking?
sometimes,
or
sometimes
he's
he'll
got
wake
his
up if there's
earphone.
something. But he's a good sleeper. He's a good sleeper. I've always been a very light sleeper. So therefore it's important that I make sure I get the proper sleep too.
Yes.
Because things wake me up, you know. Possum riding on the roof wakes me up. Whatever. When we were in Tonga, you know, the roosters crowing and the dogs barking and this, you know, it takes me a while to get used to the noises.
Yes.
You know, in the community before I can get my sleep pattern. But once I get my sleep pattern, I actually sleep really well in Tonga.
Do you know, we're right next to the church in
Yes.
the village.
Yes.
So we always hear the early morning bell.
Oh,
When I
that's
first
lovely.
went there, I couldn't sleep.
Oh,
But
okay,
now
yeah.
I sleep through, and then I'd say to my husband, why don't you wake me up for the service? He
Yes.
said, you didn't even hear the bell ring. So,
Well, that's a good sleep.
yeah, so that's
So-
a quality sleep.
Everyone enjoy a good sleep.
Yes, please.
And work towards having a good sleep. It's important. And for your family to also be engaging in very good sleep and very healthy sleep.
Yes. Then you wake up in a good mood. All friends and laughing.
My family know when I haven't had a good sleep. So
I'm
I
sure
should be
Professor
just
will
cranky
make
at
sure
myself. Or he
yeah.
just ignores me, Louisa,
Yeah.
which is the best way for me. It's just ignore me when I'm not in a
I think
sleep
next time, is he
deprived.
hinting at us?
Yes.
Sleep
So
apnea?
we're at the end of our program. Louisa, do you have one more comment to say to our people before we finish off?
Just enjoy. And for the women, I hope you have a wonderful, like very stimulating sort of International Women Day.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And every one of you enjoy your week. Stay healthy. Be kind to one another. It's a really important
Make
thing
sure,
to
I
do.
think if you have a quality sleep,
Yes.
you'll be in a good mood.
Yes.
Make sure
absolutely.
7 to 9 hours of sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, that should be enough if you, have a little nanny nap.
I'll be having a nanny nap after my appointment
Yes.
today, I think. So
You'll
look
have a
after
long
yourselves,
nanny nap.
everybody, and stay healthy. MALO. O
Ofatu.